Bum 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 bum. Hey. Bum 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 bum. Good morning, everybody. It is time for Spilling COVFEFE. I am your host, Kevin Williams. I'm just waking up this morning. There's my voice in the morning. That's why sometimes I do voiceovers in the morning, because I actually bass in my voice. And then by noon, I'm talking like this. Hey, guys. It's great to be here. Sound like a teenager. Speaking of teenagers, it is my birthday Boxing Day. I'm now no longer 51. I am 52, and I've crossed over. I don't feel any older. There really should be some sort of development that happens on your birthday, some sort of cosmic event so that you actually know you've gone around the sun one more time. Now, all the sci-fi shows, if you circle the sun or something, you like your skin glows orange for a day or purple, or that's the one day of the year that you get some sort of superpower like laser vision. Morning, Sydney. Morning, Josh. This is Spilling COVFEFE. We have no agenda. We just jump around, and if you guys want to watch something, maybe we'll watch something. If you guys don't want to watch something, maybe we'll watch something. This is Spilling COVFEFE. So get yourself a cup of COVFEFE. Let's settle in. Good morning, Jojo. You're up early. Oh, it's 8:12 already. Man, I was lazy Jane this morning. I haven't even looked at the clock yet. Almost done. I gulped my COVFEFE this morning. I got the wrong mug, too. I have a lovely COVFEFE mug from Marcy. I am very groggy, but this is also my morning voiceover. I'm trying to think of what voices I don't have. See, the trouble is if I record things right now with this lower voice that I have in the morning, then I will, if they give me the job, they're going to schedule it for 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'm going to show up, and they're going to be like, how, were you putting bass with the After Effects? No. It's just me in the morning. And telling Hollywood people when to schedule you just does not work. Everyone is on their own agenda. Marcy just never sleeps. Marcy is in Hawaii, and they apparently she's on the Big Island, and they don't have time zones there. So, Philharmonic tweeted me. Ooh, well, that's exciting. Let's start things off by what should we do? What should we do? Let's just find out why we should be outraged today. I'm in a pretty good mood. I had a fairly decent birthday. So I feel pretty good. I'm sadly disappointed about Afghanistan. But people don't want to be there anymore. And do we have any business being there? And nobody seems to like my idea of solving everything. Make it a territory. Turn it into a territory. Give it an opportunity to become a member of the United States. Member of the United States? Are you crazy? They're nowhere near the United States. Hawaii, the most remote spot on the planet, is a state in the United States. You start turning countries into states, members of the United States, and the people there realize, oh, hey, we're part of a bigger thing now. And they're going to start doing what's good for the nation of America. Just look at Florida and Texas. Oh. All right, scratch that whole idea. Jojo's keeping track of how early it is for Marcy. Marcy can handle herself, Jojo. Thank you very much. The trouble is Jojo's son just left for college yesterday, and so now Jojo is going to start mothering all of us. So be wary of that, people. Do not give Jojo any information. Jojo, if you're going to mother somebody, I need more coffee. Hello? Jojo. Never around when you need her. Good morning, Sean. Something went down at the Cyber Symposium. It did. Who's leaving at 11 a.m.? Oh, so your son is still there. Your son leaves for college at 11 a.m., but you're already getting your motherly vibe out there into the universe. It's good. I saw that on Oprah. That's positive. Speaking of motherly vibes, let's see why we should be outraged this morning. Let's pull up a little Fox and Friends Saturday. So I am still demonetized on the YouTubes because apparently I don't do any commentary. All of what you've just been watching, it doesn't exist. What you're about to watch with me showing things that other people have produced already, this doesn't exist. Let's go over the monetization policies, what they want and what they don't want on the YouTube, because I pulled it up. Because I was like, but that's what I do. That's really, really what I do. Give me a second here, see if I can find it. Did I close it? Kevin? Oh, good. Here we go. This is what you can see on YouTube right now. This is what happens if you're like, how do I fix things? Something went wrong. Okay. I don't know where to go from there. I'll pull it up for you guys later. It's not really that important right now. But the bottom line is I'm still demonetized on YouTube's. Where did you guys go? Where? Oh, there you are. Okay. So if your son's leaving at 11, there's no tennis this morning, huh? I was hoping maybe to play some tennis this morning. Okay, let's fast forward through. They like to do the national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, God Bless America, stuff like that. Here we go.
Was that so nice seeing America?
All right, so we got that guy, we got Rachel Campos Duffy, I think her name is, and we got Lawrence Jones. So those are our friends this morning on Fox and Friends. Let me know if you guys are getting echo, and I'll put my headphones in.
America just breaking dawn. We have the most beautiful country in the world.
Yeah, especially this day. I think it's fitting that we.
America might be the most beautiful country in the world. I mean, it depends on what you think is beautiful. Subjective, isn't it? Chile is absolutely gorgeous. I like the mountains. I like the ocean. Chile is just sort of crammed in there together. Everything's right there. A lot of the countries in Central and South America, they have colorful housing. They love their oranges and their yellows and their bright reds and their pinks on the sides of houses. So the cities are really, really colorful. The Italian villas on the coast. I should say villages, not villas, but the villas are also gorgeous. The stuff that's man-made versus the stuff that's natural. Canada, pretty beautiful country. Canada has a whole bunch of ice, baby, that America just don't have. That's not true. There's some ice in northern Alaska as well. I don't know. You guys, most beautiful country? Jojo, you've been everywhere. Where's the most beautiful country in the world? I can tell you the most beautiful city, and I've been to cities all over the place, but the most beautiful natural city is an easy answer. See if somebody guesses it. The most beautiful natural city on the planet. Of course, this is all subjective.
Start off with the national anthem as we have troops that are getting ready to head to battle right now to defend freedom right now.
That's right. In fact,
I guess he's talking about Afghanistan. Are we now defending Afghani freedom? Because Trump wanted out of there. Trump campaigned in 2016. Remember, he campaigned in 2016 saying, we got to get out of that war. We're going to end the endless wars. That's what we need to do. And the American people put him in office. Okay, I'm lying. The American people wanted Hillary, but it's another story. So then a few months into it, remember, he said, I was going to say, let's get out of Afghanistan. And usually I follow my gut. That's what he actually admitted. It has nothing to do with facts. He follows his gut. Salzburg is a good choice, but that is the wrong answer. The Canadian Rockies, most beautiful place on earth. It's definitely top one. I think Israel and Italy are the most beautiful countries. Yeah, perhaps. Prague is the most beautiful city. Jojo, that is dead wrong. Prague. Come on. Speaking of which, I'm hungry. Jojo. Jojo's not here. I need a motherly type. Maybe Pembroke can get me some food. Pembroke. Cats are so useless. Dogs will bring you things. I need a service dog that will bring me in and out. Another guess, Prague. Why with it? Prague? Okay. Honestly, I've never been to Prague. Ireland, also the eastern provinces are the most beautiful in Canada. Josh, that's actually an excellent guess. Ireland, though, slightly less beautiful than Wales, believe it or not, Wales is just breathtaking. And I say that as having been there when I was 13 years old. And for a 13-year-old boy to be impressed by a country, by the rolling hills of Wales, just so green. How green was my valley? Liberty loves Turo, which I believe is a car rental service, part of the gig economy. But New Haven is a gorgeous city. New Haven is a decent city. Jojo is a terrible producer. That's right. I need you to produce food. Glasgow. Glasgow, I don't know. I've never been, but it is not the most beautiful city. Just take away the city itself. The city that I'm talking about, number one, any type of architecture you want, it's there. It's an amazing city. The city itself has everything anything that you consider naturally beautiful, save for a desert, because there are some who would consider a desert naturally beautiful. It's not. It's just sand. Turo is cost England. Yes, what Liberty's trying to say there is Turo, the car rental service, part of the gig economy, costs more in England than actually just renting from National Rent-A-Car, which ironically is not just national, it's international. They should change the name. San Francisco, that's Kevin's city, is incorrect. No, but it is a city that so you've got, I'll give you more of a hint. You got your water, you got your mountains, you got your peoples, you got your architecture. It's everything. And it's all right together. Anyway, most beautiful city. You guys can keep going on that. Let's see what we're outraged by today.
Let's go to a Fox News alert. President Biden is vacationing at
Hilo is not the most beautiful city, but Hilo, as I understand it, is beautiful. I've never been to Hilo. Marcy has been to Hilo.
David, as Afghanistan.
Or perhaps since it's so early there, Marcy's just misspelling hello. Hello, Marcy. Good morning. Here we go. We got, it's going to be all about Afghanistan. That is now, Biden has failed us because of Afghanistan. You know, Trump's policy. We're getting out. Now, because Biden's doing that, suddenly the whole world is collapsing and it's Biden's fault. But you ask those same people, what do you want to do? Stay in Afghanistan? Just stay there? No. We got to get out. What are you going to do? Seattle is a very good guess. Seattle is close, but no. This city is Seattle, but better. Anne Louise, Vancouver, British Columbia, the most beautiful city on the planet. You got your mountains, you got your water, you got your... My phone is now activated. You got everything that you need right there, and it's right there. Like North Van sits on the shores of the Fraser Delta, on the bay of the Pacific Ocean. You've got islands to look at across from there. The mountains in North Van are right there. It is Vancouver, at the same time as being the most beautiful city, is also the worst city because there's like one freeway and it sort of goes around the city. The traffic in Vancouver is absolutely horrid. Just whose idea was this? Anyway, it is an absolutely gorgeous city. And gorgeous all year long. And then when you get a little bit of snowfall, sticks around for a couple of days and it's like, I just made an appearance and we're done. But it is. Vancouver is just breathtaking. The Fraser Delta basically splits into 7 parts. So you got water all over the place. The Delta sort of separates the different areas of the city. You've got beautiful bridges. You've got tunnels. You've got just the architecture is so eclectic. You've got the classic empire architecture coming out of Europe. And then you've got Asian office towers. You've got a library in Vancouver based on the Roman Colosseum. That's just probably my favorite building in the world. Not like the real Colosseum, just not practical. If you've ever heard the Fountainhead, you love the practicality. Circles are a bad idea. Circles are the strongest shape, but they're a bad idea when it comes to building because there's so much wasted space because all the lots are square. Now, in Colosseums, they make sense because you're surrounding the action. They don't make sense for a library, but they've also used the space. You got to see it. You got to see it. It's got shops. It's got cheap pizza. I mean, a library with cheap pizza. There's no arguing that. Judges all agree. All 5 judges just weighed in. Yeah, all 5 judges. In fact, 3 of them are at home right now, and they wanted to weigh in and agree that Vancouver's the most beautiful city. So congratulations, Anne Louise 13, for getting that correct.
Implodes.
That's right. And the Taliban is rapidly taking control of the country.
So the Taliban is on the outskirts of Kabul. They've already taken over Kandahar, Kandahar being both a province and a city. The second biggest city, I believe, in Afghanistan, and Afghanistan's most beautiful city. I don't know. So they're about to take over Kabul. The U.S. embassy, all the embassies are in Kabul. Our allies have evacuated their embassies. They're getting out of there. We're busy destroying documents, apparently, and flying people out of the embassy. Do we save Kabul? Do we now have 3,000 troops that we've got another 3,000 on hold in the Middle East, ready to fly in and save Kabul? Do we continue to support Afghanistan, prop up the democracy, prop up the government that we installed in Afghanistan, or do we get the hell out? Biden has said there's not going to be a Saigon moment of people being airlifted out of the embassy. Does that mean that we're going to get everybody out of there first and then give up the embassy, the $800 million embassy? Or are we going to hold the city? And if so, how long? And if that's the case, are we not just still in Afghanistan? I don't know. Do we care a whit about the people of Afghanistan, particularly the women who will have to go back to wearing burqas and not having an education and not being permitted to read? Are we going to do that? Because remember, when we went in there, it was all about that. Do we care about safe havens for terrorists? That the Taliban not really into the other groups being allowed to function. Al-Qaeda was there. Things have changed. And the internet is now prevalent. You want to plan a terrorist attack, you got yourself 500 apps to do so. You don't have to have a compound anymore. The world has changed. If we save Kabul, if we save the city, we branch out, we start taking down the provinces again, we're right back into the muck. After we left Vietnam, there wasn't a whole bunch of call from Americans. And again, I was 2 years old. There wasn't an outcry of Americans saying, no, go back into Vietnam. We need more dead 19-year-olds. We didn't do that. I didn't even realize. I've never seen footage of the helicopter being ditched in the sea, coming out of Saigon. Didn't Trump say he 100% demolished the Taliban? No, that was ISIS. But yeah. Is there anybody in the chat room? Is there anybody out there watching right now? If you're watching live, it's about 8:30 in the morning Pacific time, 11:30 on Saturday morning, the 14th of August, my birthday, Boxing Day. Is there anybody out there who thinks that we should stay in Afghanistan?
Country closing in on its capital, Kabul, as U.S. troops arrive in the city to evacuate Americans.
Lucas Thomas spoke to Afghans who are desperate to escape, and he joins us live from Washington with the latest. Lucas is spinning out of control, and quickly, what do you know?
Sure appears that way, Lawrence. The Taliban have Kabul surrounded this morning, now just 7 miles outside the Afghan capital. It's the first U.S. Marines have arrived to evacuate Americans.
And they have, throughout this last few weeks, you've seen it for yourself, taken over border crossings, taken over highways and major intersections.
Moments ago, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani vowed not to give up on what he called the major achievements over the past 20 years. But the Taliban have now seized over half of Afghanistan's provincial capitals in recent days. The U.S. spent over $85 billion on the Afghan army. Officials tell me they've melted away. In just a few days, the Taliban conquered Herat on the border with Iran and Kandahar, their spiritual home. 3,000 U.S. troops set to arrive in Kabul to help evacuate thousands of Americans from the embassy.
Here's something that really bothers me. There's obviously hours of footage available to the news broadcasters to show. I don't know if there's some sort of limit, like you can do 3 seconds of cell phone video and that's okay. But if you show more, then you have to pay somebody. I don't know why they do. But they'll show the same 2.5 seconds over and over and over. And obviously the people are there, they're shooting and they're taking longer and they're like, oh, here's what's happening over here. Let's zoom in on that. Like, show us more. Don't just do the same 3 seconds over and over again. Philharmonic says, I served 2 combat tours in Iraq. I say no. We should get out, but we should help them, those that helped us, interpreters, etc. Yeah, we should have gotten the interpreters out a long time ago. This is a huge failure for the Biden administration. Everybody knew this was coming. I mean, and the thing is, okay, well, I don't even want to get into that.
U.S. diplomats now destroying sensitive.
Josh says, I think if you're going to step in and make changes in a country, you can't walk away like it was a failed experiment, whether you believe anyone should have went there in the first place. That's a completely valid point, Joshua. That bed was made, said Joshua. Yeah, you've inherited that mess from when you were vice president 8 years. It's like, yeah, that's what happens. If there are enough people who are bloodthirsty, who don't want you there, once you get out of there, there's nothing to stop them. Remember, this war's been going on so long that most of the people that you've trained in that military never knew, have no recollection whatsoever of the Taliban being in charge. So when you say, oh, this is going to be so much worse once all these white and black Americans get out of here, and you have to go back to those Muslim people who you are also of that religion. They have no idea what it's going to be like. So are we going to fight when the rest of the country is collapsing? Are we going to lay down our arms, get the hell away to safety, or are we going to hope that we don't get slaughtered? Like, there's no good choices. Marcy, exactly. It seems like a no-win situation. Trump had a surge and then decided, oh, that wasn't working. And I don't know why we never talk about the failure of Trump's surge. It's just never mentioned. Halfway through the surge, he decided, you know what, we're getting out of there. And then he said, we got no more troops. But that wasn't until sometime in 2020 that we finally had fewer troops than when he came into office, very late in 2020. But again, Trump just said so many nonsensical things that we don't have time to even, our brains don't have that much room.
Information at the facility that cost $700 million.
See, we just saw this. They're going to show us the same 3 seconds over and over again.
Dollars to build.
I thought it was $800 million, but sure, $700 million for the embassy. Irrelevant. $86 billion training the army, and apparently the army has just completely dissolved.
The Pentagon insists the Afghan.
But again, all you have to do is have the Taliban saying, okay, we know who you guys are, and if you fight us, we will kill every member of your families. We know where you're from. We know who you are. We will kill everyone, and they will. We will slaughter them on the internet. We will find your mother, and we will slit her throat on camera. So, you going to shoot your fellow countrymen? Or you going to, the government? Change the government. Really not that big of a deal.
Forces still have the advantage. You said the Afghan forces had the advantage. What proof can you offer?
The resistance.
Wait, how is he drinking water with just one hand? Those little bottles, that's a two-handed operation from what I remember. This guy's some kind of Superman.
That they have faced has been insufficient to stop those, to check those advances, does not mean, Lucas, that the advantages aren't still there.
In recent days, I've received numerous messages from Afghans desperate to escape as the Taliban closes in on Kabul. Will, Rachel, Lawrence?
Hey, Lucas, thank you for that. So we'd love to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, if, Lucas, in fact, the Afghan army does have the advantage, as you pressed and asked right there, why then is the resistance so futile? What answer are you given by the Pentagon?
Pentagon officials say the Afghan army just has not shown the will to fight. A lot of people made the analogy that this is like the end of the Vietnam War. I would argue that this is more analogous to the end of Iraq, when U.S. forces left Iraq in 2011, just a decade ago. And remember who was the head of the U.S. forces at the time? It was General Lloyd Austin, who said if the U.S. forces leave Iraq, ISIS will take over there, and called Al-Qaeda in Iraq. They will metastasize. We're seeing that again right now in Afghanistan. As soon
Yeah, they've just been waiting. They've been waiting for 20 years. It's a stupid idea to begin with, but okay.
as U.S. forces left Afghanistan, that's when the Taliban went on the offensive. There's just not enough U.S. jets. There's no troops on the ground. And the Afghan forces have just shown, frankly, what officials say, just complete incompetence.
So you got kids riding the back of a U.S. Humvee celebrating the return of the Taliban. Why? Because you now have your country back, yeah? Hey, we're going to come in here. We're with another. I mean, just imagine if China had come in here during Trump and said, hey, you guys need to be free of this. You guys should be able to get a new government. You guys should realize we're going to get rid of the Electoral College. We're going to get rid of the Senate. We're going to be a direct democracy. Everybody gets a representative. We're going to double the number of representatives. There you go, guys. Problem solved. You're welcome. Your new People's Republic of America. Do you think Americans would be like, oh, yeah, that sounds great? No, we're idiots. We're not going to say that. We're going to say, no, we need our Electoral College. It's the American way. And as soon as the Chinese leave, then we're going to go right back to being America with the Electoral College. That's the way it works.
I have one more with you, Lucas. So much attention now turns to Kabul and what will happen in that city. But what's happening in those provincial capitals? Now that the Taliban has taken over, are we getting reports of what's taking place in those cities across Afghanistan? Not just for the journalistic curiosity of what's happening on the ground today, but sort of as a predictor of what could be happening soon once American troops and UN troops and an entire coalition leaves Kabul. What's to be expected?
What's to be expected are war crimes and Sharia law. We're seeing in Kandahar, the Taliban have already taken over the radio station. They're broadcasting, they're establishing an Islamic emirate. This is what they've been saying all along. There's been a lot of calls at the State Department that the Taliban are seeking legitimacy and how to recognize them. The Taliban are not interested in international recognition or legitimacy. They also believe there is a military solution. All week, been hearing from the Pentagon, John Kirby saying there's no military solution. Well, clearly the Taliban thinks there is a military solution. We've been seeing that all week with this lightning blitzkrieg as they've been conquering most of the country.
So, Lucas, can you talk about what's happening
means
behind
lightning, so
the scene? Because there seems to be some division with even in the White House. Senior officials have been tweeting and deleting tweets. They are saying that there's division right now between the State Department, the Defense Secretary, as well as...
I should be commenting on this more, I guess, because commentary and YouTube monetization. So I like his tie. I like that the boys match their ties together. Both the boys on the couch have the purple going on, so that's nice. A lot of purple in the flowers as well. So those might be carnations. Those might be some other type of flower. These are this is a React video, so completely cool. Yeah, Sean, I saw that you DM'd the Saigon video. But if I play the Saigon video, maybe I won't comment on it enough. So it's hard to.
Senior aides.
Okay, so no solution to Afghanistan. Let's move on from Afghanistan here. See, there must be something else where it can be.
Others.
Oh, this is Joni Ernst, who, by the way, a former military member. She just blames this whole thing on Biden. But okay, fine, except that this was all Trump's idea. I don't. Here we go. Here's COVID at the border. We're talking about this because this is a big thing.
News on the border. We're in another crisis. So we have crisis overseas, crisis here at our border. As you know, we've been covering this, Will and Lawrence. A brand new Buffalo, New York, or Waco, Texas is being formed every month on our border because it's just so out of control. The borders are clearly open. Alejandro Mayorkas.
That's not accurate at all. Not in the least. The real numbers, the actual numbers of people who came in last month would be. By the way, reports are coming out that Trump is not interested in doing any pro-vaccine commercials because he doesn't want it to be good for Biden. That's the last thing you want. He doesn't want to give Biden. He doesn't want to do Biden any favors. Apparently, is the language coming out of Trump. Don't do me any favors. I'm gonna need a favor though. And that makes sense. That's one of his words. He loves to say favors. Everything is transactional. So yet last month, You're going to hear them say like more than 200,000 people of Buffalo, New York came in last. No, actually, those are encounters. Those are, a lot of them are repeats. The same people trying to get over again. 154,000 immigrants tried to cross in July. 96,000 of them were immediately turned around. Yeah, you're not coming in. So the real number being it's less than 60,000. Many of those unaccompanied minors, they're kids. The rest of them families with valid asylum claims. Anyone who doesn't have a legal right to be here in the United States is being kicked the hell out. You don't create the numbers. The only thing that's creating these numbers being done by an American is all of the GOP saying the borders are open. Joe Biden's letting everybody in, because he's not. Again, 154,000 people crossing the border last month, 96,000 of them being immediately expelled. And no, the last thing you want is another Waco, Texas.
Our DHS secretary has said, no, it's all under control. The border's not open. However, when caught on a
it's not open.
Hot mic.
Oh, this is Mayorkas. He's the secretary in charge of the border, and they caught him on a hot mic. But when you're in official politics, when you're a public official, you should expect to always be recorded. He doesn't say anything really that shocking here. Yeah, it's not sustainable. What's happening? Something has to change. But how do you change unless you pay attention to the root cause? And if you try and pay attention to the root cause, you're just made fun of.
Here's what he said.
A couple of days ago, I was down in Mexico, and I said, look, if our border is the first line of defense, we're going to lose, and this is unsustainable. We can't continue like this. Our people in the field can't continue, and our system isn't built for it.
He's absolutely correct. The system is not built to handle these kinds of numbers. And they haven't had to handle these kind of numbers since, just 2 years ago, before COVID. Same numbers were coming in 2019. Very, very similar numbers. Without Title 42.
So, Will, which is it?
Well, character, they say, is what you do when no one is looking. And I guess the truth is what you say when you think no one is listening.
Yeah.
This is an administration that's been unwilling to call what's happening at the border a crisis, but is
Joe Biden himself called it a crisis. They know it's a crisis. What does it matter? What does it matter what you call it? Are you addressing the situation? And the fact of the matter is, yes, they are addressing the situation. Joe Biden just 2 weeks ago re-upped Title 42. That's what immediately expels the vast majority of the people coming across. No, you're not coming in. The border's not open. It is closed. You're not a child. You're not with a child. You're out of here. Nope. Sorry. That's it. You're a family, but you don't have a valid asylum claim. Get out. That has not been the policy except for during COVID, during the Trump administration.
Willing when they are thinking behind safe and protected walls to say it's unsustainable. Governor Doug Ducey of Arizona said if this is the case, well, then it's time for Mayorkas to go. He said today we are seeing the truth of what's playing out behind closed doors. What the federal government isn't telling the American people, chaos, dysfunction, and a defeatist attitude has infiltrated the highest levels of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. This administration has completely lost control of the border. And with his comments, Secretary Mayorkas demonstrated that he fully understands the catastrophe playing out at the border, and yet he lacks the skill, ability.
No, they have control of the border, but the numbers are not sustainable. He didn't say we've lost control of the border, saying that we're not built to handle this. Things have to change, and things have been changing. But how do you stop the flow of migrants? I mean, unless you say to Mexico, hey, guys, I need you to stop everybody coming over your border before they get to our border, which was tried, which is supposed to still be happening. Apparently, no. And Trump, by the way, misunderstood it all. He thought that the Mexicans had a whole bunch of guards at our border on the southern side, turning people away at that point. No, they sent guards down to the southern borders for the Triangle countries.
And will to address it adequately. The buck must stop somewhere. A defeatist is not what we need when it comes to fighting for border security. It is time for Secretary Mayorkas.
Are you guys getting enough comments? Am I making enough comments that I'm adding something to this conversation? Is there some form of entertainment happening right here? Or are you guys just watching because you hate this and you're not being, there's no insight, no political commentary? I don't know. It's hard to tell because apparently, according to YouTube, I'm just showing other people's videos and not making any comments on them.
To resign.
So I agree and disagree with the governor. Of course, he needs to resign because he's not doing his job. But this has nothing to do with will.
No, he is doing his job.
This doesn't have to do with ability. They just refuse to do it. They know exactly what to do. This is a part of the...
Oh, good. Tell us then, what are they supposed to do? Tell us, since they're not willing to do whatever it is that you know that they should do, what should they do?
Their philosophy, and I think we make a major mistake when we say that they don't know what to do. They know what to do, but
what
when
is it?
you run on this in an election, and you have a progressive base that are saying, we just want open borders. We don't believe that this country should have borders. That
the progressives are not the base at all. The progressives keep losing elections. The progressives are 4 to 20 people out of 200 plus.
Should be catching.
The Progressive Caucus is, boy, it's got to have less than 30 members. Somebody look up how many people in the Progressive Caucus for the Democrats.
Release, and we want these immigrants to be coming without.
I have considered Rumble, actually. I think we'd get a lot of furniture in here if we went on Rumble. The software that I use does not support broadcasting on Rumble. So I don't know. I don't know if you need an agreement with them to live stream or not. And would that work through my software? If there's some kind of aggregation software that allows Rumble, I'm willing to take a look at it.
Being vetted. It's okay to have COVID folks coming across the border. It's okay to have buses.
It is not. No one is saying that.
Buses, airplanes and airplanes going into American cities.
We've always done that. Trump did that.
That is the position of the Democratic Party of today.
I think you're so right, Lawrence.
No, it's not.
By design, and it is taxpayer funded. We're actually
yeah, everything the government does is taxpayer funded. yeah, it is. Remember Trump's idea that he was going to start charging to pay for the wall. That was his big solution. He was going to start charging people coming across the border because there's a small fee. I remember when I was in El Paso as a kid, you paid a penny to cross the border into Mexico. We walked across the bridge. We paid a penny going one way or both ways. I don't remember now. Could have been 2 cents. And I got my 2 cents worth going back and forth across the bridge in El Paso. But his suggestion was all we have to do is charge the people coming in from Mexico by the day, and you got your wall paid for. And then, but if you do the math on that, every day people would be having to pay like $800 to cross over the bridge to come into the United States. It wasn't going to work out. And as it turns out, it didn't. So Trump stole money from military families to build the wall.
Cooperating, working, we're forcing our government officials to work with the cartels. We're doing we're paying for the last leg of their illegal business of bringing of trafficking humans across the border. So once they cross over, we're not doing COVID tests because, as some mayors said, if we do a COVID test and
No, we are.
have to quarantine them, we don't have room to quarantine them. So let's just not test them and let's put them on
That's not happening. That's not happening at all.
Flights across America, and again, as we're shutting down,
Right, that's the way you do it so that you don't completely drown the southern border states.
Businesses, as we're masking up kids, we're spreading these variants across the country.
No, we're not doing that. If they test positive, they are quarantined. Who in their right mind believes that's what's happening?
At taxpayer expense. It's absolutely insane.
What you're saying is absolutely insane. No one is going to test anyone for COVID and then put them on a plane and fly them to Tennessee. No. Oh, you tested positive? You need to be quarantined. That's the big kerfuffle. Where do we get the money to quarantine them? Well, from the federal government. How do we get that? Well, we have to declare a state of emergency. Your Honor, could you sign this so that we're a state of emergency so that we can get the funding and then we can build the tents and keep the people quarantined until they test negative? Sure, let's do it. That makes sense. There's all kinds of money for this. Federal government's taking care of it. Thank you very much, Joe Biden. That's the correct response. All the giant COVID packages that we've been passing as a nation, yes, with taxpayer money, because that's how governments work. All of that money goes to, well, some of that money. There is enough money there to pay for these tents, to pay for the quarantines. Now, if we could just get the fucking people of Texas to wear their fucking masks, we might have a shot at this. Get yourself vaccinated, kid.
It makes no sense. And the fact that this channel is the only channel actually covering this in an honest way is
nope. You are on this channel and you are covering it so dishonestly. We've gone over this. Talk to CBP. Look at the website. You will see what's going on. They have stats on all of this. No, CBP doesn't do a lot of testing unless the people are obviously symptomatic. CBP processes and kicks the hell out. You don't have an asylum claim, you're out. Families, people with children, unaccompanied minors that have a valid asylum claim, we are going to hand you over to, if you're a kid unaccompanied, you go to HHS or one of the other agencies that can deal with this. You might go to Catholic Charities. You might go to the local health administration. You get tested for COVID.
Criminal. I mean, I just can't understand why the other...
No, you can't understand.
Channels can't see that this is, the other channels are the ones wanting all these laws.
That's where we should be angry at television channels. That's where we need to direct our anger. The crisis is on CNN. The crisis is on MSNBC. The crisis is on OAN. The crisis is on Newsmax. The crisis is everywhere.
Really hyping up the fear on COVID, and yet somehow COVID doesn't matter when it's coming across the border.
And just real quickly before we move,
COVID absolutely matters. That's why they're doing the quarantine. That's why they're spending the taxpayer money.
Move on. The video that we're seeing at the border is either coming from Fox or leaks. I mean, we're still not allowed in the facilities to see what the hell is going on there. Every single time we get new video, it's because a congressman, elected official, or someone with inside of the administration that...
So if a congressman takes a video, that's a leak? Okay.
Wants the American public to know it's leaking this information, and there has been zero pushback from the mainstream media on this issue. Will,
what a dichotomy!
I don't even know what he's saying. Zero pushback from the mainstream. The mainstream media is covering this. It's an issue. Biden called it a crisis. They talk about it every day. And Pembroke just took off for the front door. Maybe he knows somebody's there. I don't know. Is somebody there?
Kick American kids out of school, if at best, put them into school and mask them, potentially shut down American businesses once again, divide Americans, blame Americans for the COVID crisis, point at the unvaccinated, meanwhile allowing COVID to flow freely over the southern...
Well, let's just take a look at the worst state for COVID right now. Florida does not have a land border, is not part of the Rio Grande Valley that you guys are saying is the epicenter. That's the epicenter right there. That's Texas. Arizona has issues. California has issues. New Mexico has issues. Florida? The immigrants are not coming across by boat. A lot of effort. They can walk across the border in Texas. That's what they're doing. So, yeah, part of the problem is America. And you've got a governor telling school boards, hey, you can't pass mask mandates. Why not? This is the party of hands-off government. Let the people decide what's going to happen in their own localities, except you can't do that. And it's a safety issue. You get to decide anything you want unless you're trying to keep the people safe, which is fundamentally the first priority of government. Read the preamble of the Constitution. The first thing in there, welfare.
Order. What a dichotomy, and it's up to you, I guess, to make sense of those contradictions. This might help. This might help.
Is he talking directly to me? Does he know that I'm...
you weed through.
Wait, can you guys, hey, people on the couch, can you see me? Because I just complimented your ties.
Contradictions, because yet another story of elitism and hypocrisy and a double standard plays out once again, because here.
Oh, I'm absolutely, Ruth Ann made a point here. Imagine what they would say if we vaccinated everyone coming across the border. How pissed off would Fox be then? That is a fantastic idea, and I don't know why they're not doing that already. I am all on board with that. You're coming across, you got kids under 12, you don't get vaccinated. Everybody else, you're getting a vaccine. You are getting a J&J in the arm right now. Absolutely. And that may happen as soon as the FDA fully approves. Remember, the vaccines have already been approved for emergency use. Okay, this is an emergency. We know that. But the vaccines have not been fully approved. We're waiting on approval of the manufacturing process. That's where we are. The vaccines have been approved for safety. The manufacturing process, you have a 6-month window that you have to study it and make sure that the manufacturing is good and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is all just paperwork at this point. Once they become fully approved, I hope that a mandate is put in, just like it is for the military, will be for the military. Everyone's getting the vaccine. Everybody coming across the southern border, give them the vaccine. 100% on board with that.
In the Northeast, right across the Hudson River, New Jersey is doing all of those things I just talked about, making schools
I think that's what happens, Josh.
Mandating schools have children vaccinated and not vaccinated, but masked in school. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, here's your governor of New Jersey, Phil.
What I like is that California, Los Angeles, Chicago, they've now said, hey, all teachers, you need to get yourself vaccinated. You're going to be in the schools. How do we make the schools safe? We're going to mask everybody, and your teachers, you have to be vaccinated. And of course, the National Teachers Union immediately said, yeah, we are all on board with that. We support that 100%. So yeah, teachers, get yourself vaccinated. There wasn't this automatic pushback. Why? Because it's a fantastic idea. You don't want to die? You don't want to spread things to others? Vaccines are the best way to do it. Can you still die? Yes, but you're not going to. Can you still spread it to others? Yes, but the odds are so much lower.
Murphy taking off on a 10-day Italian vacation. So as society starts to clamp down, close in New Jersey Governor.
What does that even mean? Society starts to clamp down, close in New Jersey. What is happening in New Jersey? Ruth Ann? Are you being clamped down right now? Kind of sounds sexy. Not sure. I mean, every once in a while, don't we just want to be clamped down?
Phil Murphy flies off.
But not just that, Italy has an advisory. So there's a COVID advisory recommending that we not travel to Italy. And he says, well, you know what? I've got to go. I haven't gone on vacation since the COVID started. He's going to his $7 million villa, 11 room.
We were just talking about villas. If he's got a $7 million villa, yeah, go to your $7 million villa. Like what? He's vaccinated.
Villa in Umbria, and then when asked about it, he said, I'm just like every other family.
Yeah, which everybody else has 23 rooms in their house. This is the New Jersey governor.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm no different than any other family. After this past 17 months, just having a few days together is something that I think all of us want to do with their family. And
wait, haven't we all been stuck with our families for the last 17 months? I can see their point on this. But yes, everyone needs to get away to decompress. I get that.
I'm looking forward to that.
There you go.
I mean, just awful. I mean, it's so relatable.
It's so awful to get away for a few days. How dare he? By the way, where are the regular folks who usually do the Saturday mornings on? Oh, they're on vacation. Oh, how awful.
So relatable. I mean, at this point, just embrace it. Just embrace it. But you know what? The one thing that...
What? I don't know what he's saying. That's my commentary for that. What? My commentary, I'm just going to watch. This is how I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to comply with YouTube rules.
That I take from this
is
that...
very sophisticated.
What?
Very sophisticated.
Very sophisticated.
What?
It might not really matter what happens. Our kids not so sophisticated. They got to be masked. They got to stay.
Can you get as we get vaccine passports?
No, you're good.
I just couldn't help myself.
As we get vaccine passports to participate in normal American life, can we get sophisticated passports as well?
She just touched him on the leg. A little bit of physical flirting going on there.
It's a special card you get to carry around where you don't have to obey the rules. You
Maybe
get a
we should
special
have
double
like
standard.
a class here, some sort of like, class on how.
Yeah, what's the barometer?
How can we become more sophisticated? Maybe we should bring somebody in, and then we could be.
Sir, I'm sorry. Where's your mask? Don't worry. I have a sophisticated card.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
By the way, the people who went to Obama's party, they're making fun of it because the New York Times called these people sophisticated guests. What made them sophisticated? A, they're all vaccinated. B, they were tested. There was a testing regime. They were tested multiple times, and as long as they had the negative test coming in, which, by the way, is how many of us here in Los Angeles have been living our lives working with the studios since we started having the testing process. Really, I guess it kind of got going again in August, September. So it's been a year now that so many people working in so many industries. You get tested a couple of days before. You get tested, like, for example, my daughter is getting tested today for work on Monday. She'll be tested again tomorrow with a second PCR test. And then on Monday, she'll be doing a rapid test the day that she shoots. Tuesday, another rapid test. Wednesday, another rapid test. You keep testing people, and you don't have to shut things down. And if someone does test positive, you shut down all the production. You shut down production for a week. You test everybody, make sure everybody's negative before you come back. It's possible to do that.
All right, turning
though it's funny. It is funny.
now to a few additional headlines.
What
For you this morning.
Here's
a
headlines.
13-year-old student is killed in a shooting at an Albuquerque middle school. Police say he was trying to de-escalate a fight between classmates during lunch break when one of them pulled out a gun and opened fire.
But we don't have a gun problem, people. There's no gun problem. This is Biden's fault.
A nearby resource officer heard the shots and took the 13-year-old suspect into custody. The students were only in their third day of school when the shooting happened. An investigation is ongoing. How awful. New York lawmakers suspend the impeachment inquiry into Governor Andrew Cuomo. They say it's no longer necessary because Cuomo already resigned. But the disgraced Democrats still defiant, telling New York Magazine, quote, "I'm not going to drag the state through the mud, through a 3-month, 4-month impeachment and then win and have the state legislature and the state government look like a ship of fools. I feel good."
Okay, Mario.
Cuomo stepped down earlier this week after a separate investigation found he sexually harassed 11 women. He still faces other investigations that include the scandal.
Thank you, D. Nice. Thanks for joining us.
Over COVID nursing home deaths. A New York Mets fan shines.
You're not going to miss much. We're coming up on an hour. I've got to start my day. I got to do some voiceovers. Yeah, so you're not going to miss much, D. Nice. In fact, we'll just stop down. Once you're out of the chat room, we'll be like, all right, you guys want to talk about anything? And they'll be like, let's talk about D. Nice. And we'll be like, yeah, okay. And then we'll talk about you for a while, probably 45 minutes to an hour, and then we'll be done.
A laser pointer to throw off an L.A. Dodger.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Throw him off of his game. The green light was pointed right in Max Muncy's eyes as he went up to bat. He took a step back, and umpires paused the game for a few minutes. But the Mets fan was never found. Muncy ended up striking out.
Come on. Mets fans? The guy wasn't standing there alone. I suppose you could be standing there like this and shine the laser, like you could have the laser in this hand and nobody would know that you're doing it. That's a possibility. But if I'm in the crowd and I see someone doing that, yeah, you're fucking up the game. Don't be an absolute asshole. Plus, it's dangerous. Jesus. I don't know what a John Taffer is.
But the Dodgers went on to win 6-5 in extra innings. And those are your headlines.
Liberty says, I'm going to tag you on my late husband's pic so that you can see how much you look like he did. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's just trash shit. I hate.
Happy birthday, says Colin Jackson family. It's not belated. It's my birthday weekend, so we're going to celebrate the whole weekend. It's my birth weekend. So you're welcome to celebrate. Thank you very much. I hope that you enjoy it as well. We could just turn August into my birth month. In fact, we could just say this is my birth year. I don't know we can say that. Anyway, so yeah, you're welcome to celebrate at any time. What today could be for you. Today on your calendar, you could just write in there, Kevin's birthday observed.
I hate when people cheat, even when it's the fans doing it for the other team.
Good
I'm sure
for
you
you.
Support this, right?
Well, I mean, I don't think you should shine a laser in anyone's eyes, but that's cheating. Wow, that's a big accusation.
I mean,
that is cheating. How is that an accusation? That's a fact. Shining like there's a question there. Oh, you got to look at both sides. I mean, on the one side, you got to be the baseball player and you're getting a laser shine in your eyes. That's not good. On the other hand, if you're the laser, you have a right to be wherever you want to. That's how this country, when the founding fathers wrote the Constitution, they wrote it with lasers in mind. You're going to equivocate over lasers in baseball players' eyes. Everything has to have two sides. By the way, there are not two sides to every story. Stupid to say.
This is just like, banging on the. Aren't you an Astros fan?
Okay. No, I'm not. I'm a Texas Rangers fan. I'm from Dallas. I don't know where you're from.
That's where I'm from.
Oh, really?
You're from the countryside. That's not even considered Dallas.
No, I want to reinforce that. Okay. I appreciate that.
Wait.
I am from the countryside.
I love this Texas thing because when one of you is out, you guys are all Texas. But then when the Texans come together, there's some like regional divisions between Texas, which
he's a part of the
small city.
He's a part of the preppy side.
Now I'm preppy. You're like a Democratic politician. I can't quite make sense of which way you are on this issue.
I love it.
What?
Oh man, all morning.
All right, I'm going to just stay right between these two Texans all show. All right,
okay.
Still ahead.
That's where the lady always sits. By the way, how sexist is that? That the lady always has to sit in the middle. There's always two guys and a lady between them. Why? Move things around.
Sign from Biden, his latest vaccine push with a social media star, and big concerns over big.
This is how I know I'm old, because I have no idea who the social media star is.
Prices, whether it's food or gas, everything feels more expensive.
Oh no, popcorn for $3.99, gas for $3.69. Wait, where can you get gas for $3.69?
More on rising inflation next. Stay with us.
Well, I need dollar.
Wait, hold on. We got Dan Vagina coming up, and we got Kaylee. We'll watch KK and then we'll be done here. Let's go find KK Macaroni here. And she's usually right about here. Let's see how accurate I am. That's not her. Let's go back. See where she's coming in. So there's Dan Vagina there. And we'll go back from there and come on, show me KK. Let's see if she's actually on or if it's just a little. Sometimes they'll do like a 2-minute thing with her. And we'll find it. Is this enough commentary while I'm going through the commercials, guys? I don't know. Maybe she isn't on at all. Come on, show me KK. We're an hour and a half in now. We're halfway through, and I haven't seen her. But we're going backwards. Now they're sitting outside, so it must be light outside. They're having a little talk outside. And something about Angie's List. So, guys, Angie's List. Hold on. We're not seeing it at all. Okay. Well, up there. Is she right there at the beginning? Is that her? Let's find out. Go. Or not. Waiting. Keep the people waiting.
So unfortunately, there's a bit of a tyranny of the.
That is not. That is a junior at NYU. Fighting critical race theory on campus. Okay, well, that's where it belongs, in the college campuses, by the way, because it's a theory. Going backwards here. Kelly's got to be in here somewhere. Is she not? Oh, there she is, right at the very end. They saved the best for last. Let's see what we have to say there about Kaylee.
We're safe, but it looks like now there's an evacuation.
KK Macaroni, tell us what you think about world affairs.
Lucas, they will soldiers and Marines that are fully kitted out, putting on night vision goggles, landing in Kabul, taking positions at the airport. They're going to a combat zone, are they not?
They're certainly going into harm's way, Lucas, and they will have. Lucas, they will have the right of self-defense. They will be armed.
But the Pentagon is refusing to call it a combat mission despite sending 3,000 troops back to the Capitol. So were Biden's withdrawal plans premature? Let's ask outnumbered co-host and former White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh, no matter where you fall, leave the troops or take them away, we're in a lot of trouble there now. And now you got to send 3,000 troops there to evacuate the embassy.
It's a huge problem, Lawrence. Just before we came to air, Axios came out with a report saying there has been, quote, a stunning reversal of expectations among Biden's top aides. They've basically conceded that we will not have a diplomatic presence there as of August 31st. This is, again, according to Axios reporting. And they used to believe that they would have time to negotiate an exit, time to make sure that our diplomats were safe. But it looks like now there's an evacuation effort underway. This is stunning. Think about this, Lawrence.
Whose fault is this,
the American
Kayleigh?
flag.
Is this Biden's
fault? It's Joe Biden's fault.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Joe Biden's fault. Mike Pompeo and President Trump made it very clear to the Taliban, when we're out, you are not touching an American. They made clear that there were deterrence models. There were ways to make sure that we kept that country safe. Biden, it's crumbling, and we're going to see that American flag, Lawrence, come down off of the U.S. Embassy, a place that we've occupied for years and years and years. I hope it doesn't happen, but it's certainly looking that way.
Yeah, Kayleigh, we're already getting information from sources on the ground that they were told to shred all the information, confidential stuff, just in case it's invaded. I mean, as an American, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, exactly. They're making sure that this was, by the way, let me say, this was not just a place where our diplomats operated. It wasn't just an embassy. It was also an intel gathering depository. So they have to destroy those documents. They have plans in place for that. But Lawrence, the real travesty here, beyond seeing this country fall, is the Afghans who have helped Americans for 20 years, who are fearing for their lives. One saying, I'm going to burn myself in front of the embassy just to get the United States attention. We cannot betray these individuals who for 20 years helped us as our allies, and now their lives, their families, their wives are under threat.
Yeah, and this was a man that was supposed to have so much foreign policy experience and that was going to lead on this issue. Obviously not. I want to switch gears to you. Apparently there is evidence that has now been presented to a grand jury in the Durham Russia probe, a sign that he may be considering additional criminal charges. Do you think we're going to finally see something, Kayleigh?
It's about time. Where has Durham been? I was told he was investigating. He's taken longer than Robert Mueller. Yeah, you're right. The reporting says that these are low-level individuals within the FBI who gave erroneous tips about a Russian bank working with the Trump campaign. But why has this taken more than 2 years? I know that we've had COVID going on.
So here's my commentary on that. What? Okay. That's my reaction video. So now it's a reaction video, so I think we're good. We're good. I don't know if anyone's watching this in terms of the YouTubes and how they're judging this, but yeah, I had to get up and get some COVFEFE. That's the title of the show. Without the COVFEFE, there's no commentary.
This has been...
They're talking about the Durham report. Apparently, Durham is now presenting evidence to the grand jury. This is what we believe is happening. We don't know anything because they don't talk about the investigations while they're happening. So there may have been a couple of low-level FBI guys who were providing some false information or whatever. If that's the case, like that evil Kevin who screwed around with deleting 3 words from a FISA report, yeah, prosecute him. By the way, he's already admitted guilty, so he's already been punished for that. I want to call him Kevin McAllister, but that's not his name. That's the guy from Home Alone.
Too slow. I hope we see some accountability.
What about Comey and the leakers? You know what?
Well, they didn't leak, and yeah. If they're prosecuted for something, then yeah. If they committed a crime and they're found guilty, then terrible. But that's not the case. This never has been the case. There's no indication that that's the case.
Lisa Page, colluding against the President of the United States.
The lovely Lisa Page.
All those big actors, though, Kayleigh.
But by the way, what happened to her? Has she been commentating on MSNBC at all? Because remember, she became a contributor to MSNBC at some point, and then that was that. I haven't seen her on MSNBC in forever. Is she? Maybe she is. I don't know. I don't watch MSNBC constantly.
Oh, yeah, Peter Strzok, McCabe, the list goes on. Apparently, they're going to walk scot-free if what we're reading is...
Because they haven't done anything wrong.
is in fact true. And the media's culpability in all of this, remember, it was Russia in 2016.
Oh,
That was a lie.
oh,
But
the
then there was no
media.
Hunter.
No. Russia was not a lie. The Trump campaign shared information with Russian intelligence. That's not a lie. We know that. That is an absolute fact. But okay.
Hunter in 2020 because the media simply did not care as they carried the water for Joe Biden.
You know, it's all fun and games until.
Do you guys know where that expression comes from? Carrying the water for somebody? I mean, it's got to be an old expression, right?
This same, and I'm not talking about the rank and file, till the leadership starts spying on journalists. Do you think they'll speak up then? Because they do have the capacity to do that.
Well, you'd think so, unless it's Tucker Carlson, who apparently was spied upon, and they just simply do not care. So it's
Tucker Carlson was not spied upon. Tucker Carlson was mentioned by two people that they were spying upon, and so had to be unmasked. And if it's an internal, it's U.S., it would have been the FBI, which is a different unmasking. It's nonsense. Tucker was not spied upon.
all partisan. They don't care if it's a Fox host, but they would care, I'm sure, if it was someone over at CNN or MSNBC or the AP, etc.
No, you know what? At some point, my name might have been mentioned on the NSA. I'm okay with that.
Integrity at all.
I mean, you know the way the DOJ has now charged Tucker Carlson, how they've indicted him with a grand jury because he's a ham sandwich. None of it makes any sense.
Kaylee, thank you so much.
So water is heavy, says Shelley, and that is correct. Water weighs 1 milligram every cubic centimeter, which is that's metric stuff. Americans don't understand any of that. But yes, we're not going to mention that at random. We're not allowed to mention different pronunciations that people do. Some people. So water is wet. It is wet. That is correct. Thank you, Christopher, for joining us today and offering your insight. The water behind Kaylee is not moving. It's a picture. Like, just put up a video or something. If you're going to put up an image behind you, I always like to look at the images and say, now, are they really there, or is that just a studio background? Most of the time, it's just a studio background. Like, this is not real water. So talk about hypocrisy. Here I am saying, if you're going to do a picture behind you, don't do water because water is always in motion. That boat should be moving up and down. We should be able to see some kind of motion like that. Here I am with water and the guy running in the bunny slippers, and he's not really running. You can see there's some splashing going on around here, but it should be in motion. So I know some of you were probably looking at that going like, wait, is Kevin really sitting in front of a water view with a guy running with bunny slippers? No, it's just a giant painting. By the way, if anyone wants to buy that, that's a teleprompter over there. That's my whole show is on teleprompter. Everything that I'm saying right now is written down for me by my writers, and I'm reading from that teleprompter behind me. That's how in tune I am with the production crew here. Thank you, Steve. You're the best. The judges agree. Steve, they want Steve to do the hosting, and I'm always like, but I'm Kevinly Father. And they're like, well, he can be Stephenly Father. I'm like, that doesn't even rhyme. Judges are idiots. Oh, they're not going to ding that one. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, though. The judges are, well, they're there.
Thank you.
Will, over to you.
All right, thank you, Lawrence. Turning now to a Fox News alert, a massive 7.0 magnitude earthquake hitting.
Yeah, Western Haiti earthquake 7.0. Very bad. Okay, I think so. That's going to wrap things up for today. It's been more than an hour. That's more than enough COVFEFE. I'm on my second cup of coffee here. And that's when things start getting wacky. Does anybody else have anything you want to talk about this morning? Not related to what we need to panic by? I was thinking of watching the Mayorkas conference. No, the COVID conference from yesterday. We could do that. I don't know if you guys want to just hang around and watch that to hear the COVID updates. Otherwise, if anybody wants to, I got to do my voiceovers. I've got voiceovers due tomorrow. The next day, I've got a big script I've got to do for something that shoots in Hawaii. So I've got to work on that. So I can't really hang around that much longer. The reinstatement, for whatever reason, the media has taken the reinstatement down. So President Trump is in charge, but I think he's doing a shadow government thing. So Probably at the Winter White House or something. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure it was spectacular. And fireworks and planes flying overhead, organized by the My Pillow guy. So really big day yesterday. But being my birthday, I guess I was a little bit distracted. Is carrying the water an old horse racing term? Okay, that where it came from? Okay, I'll accept that. The judges are like, yeah, why not? Steve just wants to get in here. Is it? Steve is better than I am. See, I just read that off the teleprompter. Whatever Steve puts on the I'm going to read because I'm a total idiot. See, I just did it again. And also in my ear prompter. Ruth Ann slept in her inauguration ball gown. Oh my God, so did I. And then changed into jammies this morning. Nobody slept with me last night. I put out a plea yesterday on my birthday. No, 2 days ago. So the day before my birthday, I put out a plea looking for someone who's willing to sleep with me so that to keep me off my right side. But you know what? I didn't sleep on my right side. It worked out okay. Had a pretty good sleep last night. Okay, guys, I'm going to start my day. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Does anybody else want to talk about anything before we go? Anybody in the chat room? You guys are a little bit delayed today. You guys are about 10 seconds behind. But if anyone wants to cover anything before I get up, then we can, and I'll make commentary on things. So I'll make you guys small for a second here. You won't be able to tell, but I just want to look something up here. Let's see, YouTube monetization, and the channel is not approved to be a YouTube partner. Learn how to reapply. I got to go to my YouTube channel. Give me a second here because we'll take a look at this. YouTube, and I can't show you guys this because there might be like some kind of personal information or something on it. So give me a second here. And you guys talk amongst yourselves. Again, if somebody wants to cover something, let me know, and we will maybe cover it. I don't know. Depends what I feel like. Hold on, let me go to my monetization tab, and then I think I can show you guys something or other. Okay. Okay, so here's the monetization thing. Okay. This is what you need. Let's see what you guys are seeing so I know. So we will do this, and we should be able to move you guys. Okay, here we go. Okay, so in order to get your monetization, right? So you need to have 1,000 subscribers, okay? I'm at 9,300, almost 9,400. So we're good there, right? Here's what they say. You're not producing entertainment. You're not producing enough content, okay? You need 4,000 hours of public watch hours, right? So right now, I'm sitting at, I guess this is maybe for the year. I don't even know how long. 44,000 hours. 44,000. If I'm not creating some kind of new value, if I'm not actually producing something that adds to the content which I review, why do I have 44,000 hours? Hold on, 44,055. Come on. 0. Oh, I can probably use the regular keys. I can. Let's divide that by 24. 18. So let's divide that by 365. 5 years. So far this year, I have produced 5 years worth of content that somebody out there, including the people here today, have viewed as having some sort of value. 5 years worth of content. And I broadcast for an hour here, an hour there, or whatever. But people have decided that that's worth 5 years of their time, 5 years worth of viewing since the beginning of 10 times the amount that's required to be a YouTube partner and get your monetization. But I don't know, and that's great. I don't know why anybody watches. I don't even watch. I mean, honestly, if you've had to spend as much time with me as I have, you'd be done. Literally 52 years in one day. The Ingram Taffer interview. What was that? The Ingram thing is really good. Missed opportunity. What's the Laura? Is that Laura Ingram? What are we talking about? Was this yesterday? I know nothing about it. Someone's putting the decimal point at the wrong place at YouTube. Perhaps. Again, okay, but here's what they said. Channel. Let me get rid of the calculator here. Channel uses someone else's content without making changes that add significant value. Okay, then why are 5 years worth of people watching it? If there's no significant value, I get it. I'm just not significant. The value that I add, what you're watching right now, people, is insignificant. 5 years is insignificant. The fact checking. So what I do when they say that there's the population of buffalo is coming across the border and remaining in the States and being flown throughout the country every month. When they say something like that, and I fact check that, and I tell you, no, Buffalo has a population of X, and 154 individual people have come across. 98,000 of them were immediately ejected. The rest of them are children or families that qualify for asylum. That's not significant. It's more important just to let them lie and mislead the American public. That's not significant. Me, I'm insignificant. So what I do, not a significant value. In fact, maybe it's a value of some kind. I mean, it's basically free, right? YouTube is advertising, getting the revenue from the advertising before if you go to one of my shows and you see an advertisement, YouTube is getting 100% of that revenue. I used to get half that revenue. Now I've been demonetized. YouTube keeps it all. DM me the Dr. Laura Barr rescue clip. Let's take a look at that. Hold on a second. Let me check my DMs before we're out of here, because Sean sent me a DM and Marcy sent me a DM, and apparently there's things of significant value in there. Sean, if you're still here, I never got or maybe you sent it in the group chat. Fall of Saigon. That's off of YouTube, so I better not show that. Hold on. Here's a tweet. So this is something that we can probably show. John Taffer. That's what we're talking about. I'm sorry, I'm unfamiliar with this, but let's have a look-see together, shall we? Give me a second here. It's 2 minutes and 9 seconds long, and we will try and add some significant value to it. Okay, but this is somebody else's content. I will completely cop to that. Let's see if I can somehow react, because react videos, totally legit. You can be part of the content. You can be part of the YouTube partner program and just do react videos. And there's tons of channels that just do react videos. So I don't know in what way me fact checking people talking on TV isn't reacting to them, saying that's ridiculous. Apparently not a reaction. But again, maybe it's a reaction, but it's not a significant value. Speaking of significant, Pembroke, do you want to come see the peoples? It's pet entertainment. There are millions of monetized pet entertainment videos out there. So I'm going to try and do that. I'm just going to be a pet entertainment. Okay. He's gone. There goes that idea. Here we go. Let's see if we can add to the 5 years. 5 years! 5 years worth of eyeballs so far this year, or I don't even know how long that is. Since when? They don't tell me. Anyway, 5 years of content watched. You got to get 4,000 hours. I've had 44,000 hours, 10 times the required amount.
I'm not an economic professor. If you get $800 a week unemployment benefits, and you live with a partner who also is getting $800.
Hold on, because that's really loud for you guys. I'm sorry. I've tried to turn that down. So this is apparently John Taffer talking on TV Karen's show.
I'm not an economic professor. If you get $800 a week unemployment benefits, and you live with a partner who also is getting $800 a week unemployment benefits, $1,600 a week, Laura, $83,000 a year for that household in unemployment benefits. The median income in America is only $63,000. We're incentivizing people to stay home. What if we gave that?
What if we went with Joe Biden's solution, which is make sure that they're trying to get a job, and if they turn down a job offer, they lose their unemployment? That's what Biden proposed months ago, which is how it usually works. But rather than do that, you're going to cut off the lifeline to people that can't find a job. Smart. I'm on unemployment. I'm not getting 800 a week. I'm getting 535 a week in unemployment. That does not pay for the bills. It does not cover it, especially the bills that were racking up for me during COVID. I have only survived COVID that's not the right term because of course COVID will kill you. I've made it through this mess without being, although I have debt, without being bankrupt. I've made it through COVID without facing bankruptcy because of the generosity of the people people like producer at random for the YouTube TV, which we're not watching right now. This is off of Twitter. You know what? We don't need at random. Thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing at random. Producer Joanna, producer Debbie, who just sent me money for my birthday. Thank you, super producer Debbie, who I don't even think is in the chat room. The proprietors of the house where my daughter and I were living. By the way, Kevinly daughter could still be on unemployment. She could still be receiving that sweet, sweet $800 a week. It wasn't. It was $81 a week. But she could still be milking that. She's not. She's working. She's working as much as possible. Why? Because she wants to work. What am I doing? I'm auditioning constantly, trying to get work. Not everybody is just sitting back and going, hey, we're getting $83,000 a year. First off, that requires a partner also getting the $800. Ruth Ann says, my daughter just graduated with her master's, got her license, and was offered a position for $37,000 a year. Ouch.
That additional
What did she get her degree in, though, Ruth Ann? She got her master's, what, in education or sociology or one of those ridiculous degrees? Time to rethink.
Employment benefits to employers to incentivize people to go to work.
Well, what if we just cut off the unemployment? I mean, hunger.
What if we just let people starve? That's what she's about to say here. What if? Then that would be very, very bad.
Benefits to employers to incentivize people to go to work.
Well, what if we just cut off the unemployment? I mean, hunger is a pretty powerful thing. I don't mean physical hunger, because people who truly are in need help.
So mental hunger? What kind of hunger do you get when you cut off people's funding and they can't afford food? How is that not physical? Oh, so more people at the food banks, more hour-long lines at the food banks. Smart. So how do you cut off people's funding and not create the physical hunger? What about shelter? I mean, I don't mean physically cold.
I'm talking about people who can work but refuse to work. But the government is...
Eve says, sheesh, I was up so late last night and now numb. Oops, it's relative. One had to be making quite a lot to draw those figures, right? $81 a week is more like it, average. She's the devil. She is. Kevinly daughter being, she is the devil. That's the way it balances out. I am Kevinly, but my offspring, it's like a genius can't have a genius for a son. Same rule that someone just made up. A genius can absolutely have a genius for a son. Speaking of geniuses, where's my dad's check? My dad sent me a birthday check, and I promised that I would share that with you guys. So there's a tradition in my family. Let me go see if I can find it first. Should I just play this? No, you guys are going to sit in silence for just a moment, and I hope you guys can handle it. Chat amongst yourselves. Okay, now was that silence not a significant value add to your day? Wasn't it nice just to relax, calm down, and just take a moment? In memory of the Mets fan who shined the light, the laser in the guy's eye. Was that moment of silence? That was a significant value. Certainly 90% probability a more significant value than the rest of the show. Okay, let's go back on this. I couldn't find the birthday card, by the way. It'll turn up. We'll talk about the birthday card another time. Remember, this is my birth month. So any time within the month of August is a completely valid time. I should just stop talking. It was nice. Collins Jackson's family says, yeah, that was nice. It was nice.
Unemployment benefits to employers to incentivize people to go to work.
Well, what if we just cut off the unemployment? I mean, hunger is a pretty powerful thing. I don't mean physical hunger, because people who truly are in need help. I'm talking about people.
Right, the people without jobs.
People who can work but refuse to work. But the government is
right. They lose their unemployment. That's already in place. Most of the states are already covered. Even the liberal states.
Is literally putting anvils in many ways on people's shoulders, either through the...
Hold on. How? There's literally an anvil on my shoulder? No wonder I wake up in pain. Jesus Christ, state of California, stop it. Stop putting anvils on my right side. And why only my right side? Now, I definitely need someone to sleep with me. Is there anybody out there willing to sleep with me so that when the government comes in at night and puts an anvil on my right side specifically, I have questions. Why not my left side? Oh, of course, I sleep on the right side of the bed, so this is closer for them. Quite frankly, it's just government being lazy. Balance that shit out, state of California. I need an anvil here. I need an anvil here. Otherwise, I'm never going to work. The last thing I'm going to try and do is make money. Have I told you that I'm demonetized on YouTube right now? Just so, literally, in many ways. And she just said, literally, placing an anvil on the, literally.
Talking about people who can work but refuse to work. But the government is literally putting anvils in many ways on people's shoulders, either through the mandates, regulations, and now through free money, which obviously we're all going to, the piper eventually has to be paid. John, I want to ask you, though, about...
Yes, now we're worried about the debt. Gotcha. Moving on. In the meantime, for those of you with anvils out there, you need to call 911 because you cannot survive with an anvil on your shoulder for very long.
This idea of work-life balance, because look, no one wants to miss their kids growing up. No one wants to. You stay in the office your whole life. You never see your family. So that's really important. However, have we taken that a step too far when you think of, well, a lot of the millennials talking about, well, I need time for self-care. I don't know why I'm harping on that tonight, but
and also I'll be taking a vacation for the next 2 weeks.
The whole self-care movement is a little, I mean, my mother is not with us anymore, but she worked by the time she was 12 during the Depression. If she heard the self-care thing, I think her head would explode.
She never took a vacation her entire life, and now she's dead.
I think that's right. I have a friend in the military.
He laughs, and he thinks that's right. The self-care thing. No one should take care of themselves. What? Okay, TV Karen takes vacations. Because every time there's something controversial that happens, she goes a step too far, and the advertisers are like, we might have to start pulling out of your... And they're like, oh, TV Karen will be on vacation next week. It was a previously planned vacation. Tucker does it. Dr. Laura. I got to stop calling her Dr. Laura. TV Karen does it. I do it. Actually, you know what, guys? I have not taken a vacation. I have not... Since the beginning of COVID. I mean, where are you going to go, right? I mean, my whole life is a vacation, let's be honest. What are you going to do today? Well, I'm going to record like a 5-minute voiceover, and then I'm going to go play some tennis, and probably watch a movie with people online. I am extremely blessed. And why my voice is like that? Like, I do the worst impression of myself. For some reason, when I do an impression of myself, I sound like this. A little bit like Ralph the dog. Little bit. That's how I hear myself. No limitation to mixing and matching. Some get an itching for a critter they've been scratching. The urge is righteous, but the shape is wrong. I hope that something better comes along. One of the greatest American-made film of all time. Does anybody know what that song is from? Does anybody remember that song? I'll give you guys a minute because, you need a minute. Let's go back to TV, Karen.
Who trains military dogs, Laura, and they only feed a military dog at night because a hungry dog is an obedient dog. Well, if we're not causing people to be hungry to work, then we're providing them with all the meals they need sitting at home. I'm completely with you, Laura. These benefits make absolutely no sense to us. And on top of the impact of not getting employees and not being able to run our businesses, in my industry, we have meat prices are up 10%, chicken prices are up 15%.
No, inflation is going to kill business. I mean, that's the next shoe to drop. The Democrats.
Okay, but it didn't. Should we watch this whole interview? A hungry dog is an obedient dog. It's true. So the American people are dogs, or was it the military? I don't know. I can't keep track. Yeah, we could watch that military thanks to @random. If you guys want to do that. My last vacation was October 2019. Also the last time I've seen my mom. Go see your mom. Go @random. @random was telling us the other day about, this is Ashley Babbitt. Yeah, we've seen Ashley Babbitt. There's Zoe. I'm guessing that's Zoe, the dog here. Jay Arnold. I guess that's somebody else's content, and I'm not adding significant value to this right now. Sorry, guys. This is not significant value. Such an interesting life. I've always said it must be so interesting to be a monster and do interesting things with interesting people. Nobody recognized that song, by the way. That disappoints me because you guys are all missed out on the greatest movie of all time. American movie. The greatest movie of all time is another movie. It's actually an Italian production based in Sicily. And that's the best movie of all time. And if anybody can guess that movie right now, I will marry you. No one's going to guess it. I do have a thing, though. I've always told people, if you can guess my favorite line from Arrested Development, and it's in the first episode, if someone can guess my favorite line from Arrested Development, first chance, first time, I will marry them. It's not true. I won't. But if somebody can do that, if somebody watches Arrested Development and says, that's got to be the line, that's my favorite line, then that person just gets me. Does anybody know the best movie ever made? The finest example of American storytelling that I've ever seen, Sunset Boulevard. No, that wasn't it. The finest example. Hi. Sorry, a cat just interrupted me. The cat's adding significant value to this pod. Come here. We need significant value. Get over here. Pembroke is one of those cats that will get close to you and be... Collins, you're so close. Cinema Paradiso. I'm going to marry the Collins Jackson family, the entire family. Cinema Paradiso is the correct answer. Amazing movie. If you have the ability to read, at some point there was a teacher in your life that taught you how to read, watch yourself some Cinema Paradiso. Get the version with the subtitles. Absolutely, you live a lifetime in 2 hours. It's an amazing piece of cinema. No, @random, good guess with the Arrested Development. That's everybody's favorite line. That's not it. How much could a banana be, Michael? $10? That is not. That's a fantastic line from Arrested Development. But it's not. And by the way, who buys bananas by the each? Somebody else guessed that as well. Hold on. Who was that? I want to give credit where credit is not due. Somebody else guessed the $10 line as well. I can't go. Oh, yeah, I can. Watch. I can do this. I can go back a little bit. Somebody else guessed that. Marcy guessed how much can a banana cost, Michael? $10? That is not the line. Not the line, but it was a line. It's in the first episode. I can't say more than that because I don't want to give it away. And I think I've actually told you guys before. It's part of the 5,000 hours that you idiots have watched because there's no significant value to these broadcasts. The food stamp is a big indicator for the other funding, though, so is situational. Okay, one gets other benefits since CalFresh is the master for state reporting for saying court filing for free waivers. No idea what you're saying, Eve, but yes, the judges agree with you. So the big thing, we've gotten rid of a lot of the poverty because Biden is now sending checks out to people with children. 90% of the kids in this country are eligible to receive $250 or $300 a month each. So your family that have a couple of kids and they can't afford decent food for those kids. Now, keep in mind, this is not physical starvation. This is literal starvation. Biden is now giving them $500 a month so that they can afford to buy anvils for themselves. Thank you, Biden. Eve says, I'm way below poverty and work for schools. It's sickening. Yeah, the poverty line, depending on where you are, the poverty line is a very strange thing. I'd rather be dead in California than alive in Arizona. Also a fantastic line, but no, not the line. Not the line, guys. Okay. I didn't see anybody saying we should watch the full interview with Laura Ingraham, so I guess we won't. I should start my day. I have things to do. Can I tell you what a nightmare my life is? Take my glasses off for this. So I am cat sitting right now in a little village called Beverly Hills. You might have heard of it, probably not, but it was the title of the titular city of a show about hillbillies. It's very rural, a lot of hicks in this town. It's tough. It's tough to be here. And the confusing paintings all over the walls, things I don't understand, metaphors, pig's ears. I'll show you guys around at some point. So I'm forced to be here of my own free will to look after a cat who shows up maybe 4 or 5 times a day to rub against me and then goes about his own business. So it's a nightmare. There's a cleaning lady who comes by every second Wednesday, and she was going to come by this Wednesday, but she told me yesterday she's not going to be able to come by until the following Wednesday. And so I'm going to be forced to either live in my own filth for another week or do some sort of maintenance to the cleanliness of the house. I'm going to have to do chores, people, or just live in filth. Either way. And that is the nightmare that is mine, because I don't want to work. I eschew any sort of production. And that's where I am. So if you'd like to send me some money to help me through this misery, kevinlyfather.com. You can contribute $1 on a monthly basis, and maybe I can hire my own cleaning service because I know all of you have cleaning services, right? Everybody out there has. PayPal.me/KevinlyDad, $ KevinlyFather on the Cash App. If you don't have the Cash App, use my code. I don't know what that code is. It's not here. We're working off a free laptop provided by Marcy, super producer Marcy. So I am extremely blessed. I am blessed beyond reservation, and I appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate the 5 years of input you people have collectively put into watching this broadcast, which I understand is of no significant value to you, the viewers, or apparently myself, because I'm demonetized. Fun fact, the original title of the show was The Hillbillies of Beverly Hills. I did not know that was the original working title of Cinema Paradiso. That completely changes my impression of the show in general. Eve says, well, same as I've always said, people with money don't get it. Cannot. Like a short circuit to the brain, point and case. Just cut them off. Just cut off the unemployment. Who needs unemployment? Certainly not the unemployed. How much can one banana be, Michael? $10? I think one banana at Trader Joe's, I think it's 29 cents now. It might be 39 cents. Thanks a lot, Biden. Don't buy a banana by the each, by the way. It's a ripoff. You can't hear me? Yeah, you can. All right, guys. I'm going to go start my day. I don't know that I can play tennis. Oh, Maybe Kevinly daughter can play tennis with me today. So maybe I'll get some tennis playing in as well. I ate 2 plates of nachos last night because it was my birthday. I was supposed to have dinner with Kevinly daughter, but you know what she was doing? She was working. Rather than taking that sweet, sweet $81 from unemployment for the week, she decided I'm going to work until 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to put in literally 11-hour day. She started work at noon. She worked till about 10:30. So let's just say 10 hours. You get a lunchtime in there. Probably got a meal penalty because they didn't give her lunch on time. Don't feed her what she needs because she's vegan and gluten-free. Actually, the sets are really, really good about that. Caterers are fantastic on Hollywood sets. I have nothing negative to say about caterers at the Hollywood sets. And when we call them caterers, but they're not really caterers. They're basically food trucks or whatever. But the people who feed the Hollywood sets, amazing people. Well, how come they get lunch? I don't get lunch at my job. Right, but you can leave your job and go get lunch and come back. Or you have a fridge that you can bring a lunch from home and keep the lunch in the fridge. You don't get that on movie sets. That's not how that works. The quote, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody what the magic quote is. I don't want to end up getting married. It's not the banana quote, though, although that's a very good quote. So many good quotes from Arrested Development. Sometimes I'll pull up a website that just has quotes from Arrested Development, and I'll just laugh and laugh and laugh. I'll do that with Kevinly daughter. Maybe I'll do that today with Kevinly daughter. Maybe we'll play some netsing, tennis for you Americans, and we'll just look up Arrested Development quotes. So when I was a computer coder, there's what's it called? Lorem ipsum. There's a basic. If you're programming in words on a web page, let's look it up here. Yeah, lorem ipsum. There's a generator, lipsum.com, that just generates words that you need to fill in a web page. When you're designing a web page and you don't have the words that are supposed to be on that web page, this thing will just generate banners, paragraphs, how many bytes you need. So I'll just generate lorem ipsum. This is just Latin. It doesn't necessarily even mean anything, but that's what you put the dead language up on your website. This is what it looks like. Sometimes you'll even come across web pages that haven't been fully designed. So this is just Latin. Who knows what it is? Certainly nobody alive today. Catholic Mass, perhaps. Masses, that will generate that. There is an Arrested Development version of that. So if you're for creating a web page, there's a Arrested Development version where it just generates random phrases from Arrested Development that go on your web page. And I'm just waiting for the day that I come across a web page that's being designed that someone is actually using that. And I will marry them. I'm going to have to move to Utah. But past though, we're a hardcore AD family, Arrested Development. I'll figure out, but I'm never getting married again. So, oh well. Well, you know what? My loss. Someone just sent me a message. Let's end the broadcast with what this message is. Someone sent me a message, and this is about someone coming to water the plants. I don't even have to water the plants here. That's where I am. I sit around all day waiting for a cat to come rub up against me, and I brush it with a lint brush, and I move on with my day. That's how difficult my day. Actually, I do have multiple auditions to do. I'll prove it. I got a teleprompter. I got my green screen. I got things to do, people. Okay, guys. I think that's the end of the broadcast. Coming up on 2 hours right now of the morning. Please start your day for the love of God and family. Stop wasting 5 years of your life watching this idiot. And I'm referring to Steve, by the way. Judges agree. Judges agree. Guys, have yourself a great day. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. And most importantly,